Introverts of Reddit. What is one good trait of yours that doesn't come out to the light and only shows when you're behind the screen? I'm not actually a dumbass. I just don't know how to act in public. That stupid thing I said, that was supposed to be a joke. I'm oblivious to something embarrassing I did. No, I'm panicking inside and trying to get everyone to move on. Mine's really weird. If I'm with people I know very well I can be pretty witty and hold good conversation, but with people I don't know I get super tongue-tied and nervous. That being said, I'm very good at public speaking, so I think it's very situation dependent. My humor. I'm a silly but I come off as quiet and reserved around new people, but once I get to know you you'll be having a giggle. I actually talk a lot. I have this NPC energy. Like, if one of my close friends starts talking about a topic that I know something about, I have to literally stop myself. This doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, it feels extremely good. Like, I can be truly myself without any hesitation. That I care about people even if I don't know them. Okay, so the thing is that I'm a really good dude, but I hide and bottle up my emotions from people I know. But on here it's easy to express that side because none of you guys know me. I know a lot of random facts and stories because I spend most of my time researching things online out of boredom. Some of the most insane things have happened throughout time and most people know nothing about it. I share all the new things I learn with my friends and they really enjoy hearing everything. But I rarely share those things with people I'm not comfortable with because they never end up reacting how I want them to. I'm funny, and I talk a lot. I'm super quiet and socially awkward IRL. My huge cock. I'm more comfortable contributing to conversations online. When I'm in a group conversation in person, I don't speak up much because I don't want to come off as attention-seeking. So if I have something to say I'll usually speak kinda quietly to see if there's room to jump in. It probably does the opposite of what I intend because people end up talking over me and the conversation carries on as if I was silent. Since that's not an issue in online conversations, I'm far less reserved. I mostly seem like an asshole. Well, almost always. It's more like I'm kinda unfriendly most of the time, but whenever I'm not surrounded by people I know I become the nicest person. That I'm a little funny sometimes. My audience just doesn't get me. Good sense of fashion. I wouldn't take anyone out to shop for some threads or window shop, but I could definitely put nice fits together and have great advice on colors, schemes, patterns and even making sure it flows with the settings. I'm a good judge of character. I don't share my observations immediately, but when I do most people are surprised about how accurate it is. I take my time before I trust people because I have to fervently assess people in various circumstances. I can get into a discussion about almost anything, if only we skip the small talk. How out there I can be. I'm that 1 foot who never talks even when it's a subject I love, but here I'll yell at people. I'm better at writing than speaking, which was really helpful in college since I always waited until the last couple of days to write my papers. I am pretty much not a judgmental person. I tend to not think less of anyone despite anything that they do. However, when you meet me you might think the opposite because when I am in a group and do not know the people very well I am very quiet and stare too much, which comes off very judgmental. I'm a lot more caring online compared to IRL, because I find it hard to convey my feelings IRL. My observation of human behavior and interaction. My partner thinks it's funny when I pick up on things that people do. Say, we're not critical of their clothing choice but combinations etc., and then she realizes once I've said about it. In Quebec, I'm funny but mostly only in English. My sense of humor disappears in French. So do most people's when they speak en français. Charisma +50. My vocal talents. The idea of being a voice actor is amazing to me. I want to entertain people and make them feel for characters in games or movies or shows. Behind closed doors I enjoy making characters and giving them a voice. In front of people I just stumble around and get embarrassed quickly and stop talking, which is why I couldn't do regular acting. My emotions. I can be described as an emotionless dude. You can get a laugh out of me here and there, but that's it. You can't tell how I feel based off of my looks, body language. If you want to unlock that part of me IRL, we gotta be really close, or I gotta expose those emotions to you for a while over the phone before I feel comfortable expressing them to you IRL. When I am comfortable I can be quite witty and funny, but stage fright is massive. I can barely function around anyone new. My skill with 3D software, unrivaled by anyone I've ever met, but I suppose I don't get out much. I come off as maybe short in conversation with a group of people, and that sometimes can come off as, I don't know, mean or arrogant, but behind a keyboard or even behind a microphone gaming, people can really get to know me better. I'm friendly as they come and have quite a lot of random tidbits about everything. I may not be knowledgeable about one thing, but I know a little bit about everything. Also, definitely more passionate behind screen. PSINFJ here. I'm even more quiet online than I am in real life, which is saying something. I even contemplated not posting this. I'm actually funny AF, but only a few close friends, family know that. Every time I'm, for example, hearing other people's conversations, especially at my job, a ton of jokes and funny quotes pop up in my mind, but I will never say it out loud, even knowing that they'll not find it creepy, because they know me. Kinda frustrating. I am actually pretty good with words, but you wouldn't know this unless you've texted me or read my writing. I'm a stumbling mess IRL because it's very hard for me to gather my words. I'm still bad at talking to people though over text. Not really behind the screen, but rarely ever shown to anyone. I may be quiet and oftentimes seem selfish because I keep to myself so much. But I am an extremely compassionate person. Story time. My friends and I were finishing up a night of bar crawling and waiting for our Uber in a 24-hour USPS office after bar close with another small group of strangers. Two of my friends start bickering between each other, and as it's getting louder, someone from the other group, who has been quiet up until now, tells them to stop fighting. That person then goes on to tell us all that it's her 21st and she wanted to party with her friend, but her friend ended up getting way more drunk and she needed to be the adult, which ruined her night, and she started sobbing halfway through her thought. After a moment of silence, I stood up and genuinely asked her, "Are you okay? Do you want a hug?" She nodded, so I gently embraced her. I could tell she was really upset, so I just held her, rubbed her back, and gently said, "Let it out. It's okay. I don't judge." Man, she was holding a lot in, but I could tell she needed someone who cared, and I was happy to oblige. Very soon after, my taxi arrived, so I gave her some encouraging words and told her to stay strong. That was the first and last time I'd ever seen her, and I genuinely hope she's doing well. I do pretty good voices, like funny, silly ones, you know, but I would never be able to do them in front of someone I don't know super well. I think this goes with most introverts, not all, that we can be very creative people. I find that the alone time that refills my energy from a long day and just the general solitude gives me time to think about stories, ideas for drawing, etc. I'm bad at interjecting. In a conversation with two other people, I usually just let myself get ran over. I'll have a thought and try to voice it, but the other guys, gals keep talking, so I wait my turn, but by the time I can speak the conversation has moved on, so I drop it and wait for another moment where I can add to the conversation, which almost never comes. At least on Reddit I can reply to a comment even if there are other comments that shift the subject. That I am very good at giving ideas, but I can't put them to words when I meet real people. Online, I can seem pretty optimistic and friendly, and maybe even a bit confident. Me is the complete opposite of that. I'm super shy when it comes to people I don't know well, so I just seem like a silent, stone-faced person who has no intention of socializing. My words actually make some semblance of sense. That I'm actually smart. I stutter and fumble over my words in social settings, but give a hot minute to collect and arrange my thoughts behind the screen. People have blatantly been surprised when they find out what I'm studying. I care a lot about everyone and I try my best to help anyone who wants or needs it. Otherwise I'm a social wreck and hate being near new people, and I hate myself so. Everyone thinks I'm this tough don't care about much type of guys, but really I'm an absolute soft boy. For some reason what I'm feeling never makes it to my face, so I sound a lot nicer and caring when I'm online. When I talk to people IRL, the first impression of me is, oh she hates me, when I'm actually just admiring the pretty face Sue, Sue. I can express myself a lot better in rhymes, yet I'm emotionally handicapped in times. I don't have good traits. Also I'm still pretty shy on the internet because I'm terrified that someone I know will find my account. My observation skills. I work with design programs, so being really observant and detail-oriented is a definite plus, but in normal everyday life, people just think I'm weird and quiet when I'm really just taking in a bunch of useless information. When with people who I'm not comfortable with, I portray myself as calm, controlled and focused on what I'm doing. I do this as a way to distract myself from the situation, but when with people I am comfortable with, I'm loud, funny I hope, and hyper AF. The ability to read between the lines in what someone is saying. Easy for me online. In person you could hit me over the head with it and I'd still not see it. I'm good at singing. I sometimes go on Smule to song with others, but I cover the camera. I pay attention to detail. Really comes out when talking to others. I've been told many times that I'm a great listener. I can actually discuss my feelings when I'm talking anonymously to strangers. I'm second in charge of 50 idiots online, and I love them, and being in charge of them makes me a bigger idiot. I'm seen as the voice of reason and the brotherly figure to all of them. Meanwhile when I'm at my retail job, I make myself cold and reserved. It's too exhausting dealing with real-life people while I'm doing my job, and I'm expected to have a professional attitude. Thankfully I received a job offer from a family friend, so I'm hoping that I can enjoy a more quieter work life, and maybe relax around IRL people a bit more.